Hello everyone, Tracy here from my wildlife garden. I thought today I'd share with you my tips on removing duckweed without harming any insects that may be living in there, any wild water life that might be in the pond. What I do is I have two clear buckets. These are little bird food buckets full of rainwater from my water butt and a net. And I scoop off the duckweed as much as I can, and any leaves that may be in the pond. Just a bit of scooping. Take out any dead and dying leaves as well. Put those in my bucket just for a moment. Keep going, which is you can get out. Scooping along, just on the surface, don't go any deeper, just the surface. Quite a quick task, take off as much as I can. Now normally what you're advised is to, obviously anything you take out of the pond, to put on the side of the pond so that any wildlife in amongst what you've caught can climb back into the pond. And I find that a lot of the time it's quite dense, and I think for very small creatures to get out is quite difficult. So this is my method. Unfortunately with a small pond I think this is feasible. But if you have a larger pond it's not quite as easy as this. So scooping out as much as you can. I mean, it won't be covering the pond for much longer because as we're getting into autumn the plant starts to stop growing anyway. So I've got a good net's worth. And then just clean those leaves because there's nothing on them. Sometimes I find there's insects stuck to the back. There might be like those leechy type creatures sticking on the back, so I'll wash those off, but there's none today. Then tip the net with all the duckweed into the pond, giving it a good tap. Make sure there's no insects stuck on it. Give it a bit of a tap to get rid of it. And swirl it around in your bucket. And on doing that, you tend to catch some creatures. There are one or two water shrimps in the bottom I can see. Not many, but there are some. So let those sink to the bottom, which is what they naturally do, and the duckweed naturally floats to the surface. When you're happy with the amount of duckweed you've got in your bucket, you scoop it out of your first bucket and into a second bucket. Same process again. It's easier this time. Obviously discard any leaves, they can go in the compost bin. Tap it in. Again, tap on the side, make sure you've got everything out. There we go. Now, anything that's in the bucket, and we've got, I can see some freshwater shrimps in there. Quite a few freshwater shrimps in there. I can tip those back into the pond. So, lay it back in. Just give it a check because sometimes they stick to the side. Give it a bit of a swirl. And then again swirl the duckweed. If we check, let me see, there's, I don't think on that one, clear, maybe clear, there may be a couple, not many. So take it out again with your net. This time I put it on the side of the pond. Make sure the net's the right way. There we go. Blackbirds again annoyed at me because I'm in the garden. They're trying to eat the rowan berries. Give it a tap. Make sure everything's off. Make sure you've got as much out as possible. And once again, empty the clean rainwater back into the pond. Give it a little top up and a final swirl. And there we go. Then with what's on the bank, I just spread it out. near the edge. I do find blue robins will go through it looking for insects if there's any left in there. Occasionally there's odd tadpole in, because tadpoles will overwinter in ponds. They don't all emerge in summer. Some will overwinter and emerge the following summer, but I haven't caught a tadpole today, so I'm assuming all of mine have emerged this year. But yeah, that's how I get rid of the duckweed in my pond. Oh look, it looks a bit better, a bit clearer. And yeah, so no wildlife damage during the making of this little movie. I hope you've enjoyed my little tip. Obviously if you have a large pond, as I say, it's not feasible, but with a small pond like mine, it's a good way of making sure that nothing gets trapped on the side and perishes. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye for now.